Hey everyone, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are, wherever you're watching, whatever time you're watching. I just wanted to jump on and do a really quick sales and marketing video, just that may help some of you who might be struggling to put yourselves out there or not really sure. Maybe you're not receiving any clients, or you're just getting clients here and there. But anyway, I just wanted to share some little tips that might help you. So first, I will just start by saying that I am no expert. However, I have been doing this healing business and teaching since 2010, so it's 13 years kind of in that business, and I've done a lot of sales and marketing courses to help me with my own business, and I have picked up quite a lot of information along the way, and some of it works, some of it doesn't, because some of the sales and marketing courses that we do are really just kind of generic, and they don't obviously work for everybody, especially in the spiritual community, because there are a lot of people out there who have a lot of preconceived ideas about what spiritual healing means to different people, and there's a lot of people out there who have money blocks when it comes to spiritual healing and doing any level of healing work, and that can be both clients and ourselves. So I'm talking from experience. I had in the beginning myself my own money blocks. Some of it was from beliefs, false beliefs, and again preconceived ideas from the collective that spirituality is free and we shouldn't be charging for spirituality, etc., etc. A lot of people were kind of stuck in this false God programming mindsets, which there is a lot out there. And again, I was kind of stuck in that a little bit myself in the very beginning when I first started putting myself out there as a healer and actually charging. Because I came from a corporate background and I was earning £3,000 to £4,000 per month in the corporate job I was in, doing sales and marketing, but obviously corporate sales and marketing. And so I got to the point where I no longer enjoyed doing this job. I was doing corporate sales and marketing for 20 years. And it just, although in the beginning I loved it, I loved the money, I loved the environment, it was really, I was really engaged in it, I had a lot of fun with the people I worked with. But yeah, over the years it just became monotonous and it just got more and more greedy. There was more patriarchal dominance coming into, the actual energy of the industry, and it just became negative to me. It just became incongruent. I didn't want to do it anymore. Also, I didn't enjoy being in that 9-5 rat race, leaving the house at 8 in the morning and not getting home until 6:30 in the evening. So I was called to, into the healing arts because I was on my own path, doing my own healing. And it was only when I started to make major breakthroughs that I wanted to then get into this work to help other people. So yeah, this is what I did. I trained in many different courses, and yeah, this is basically what I did in the end. So I'm just pausing for a minute because I can hear some disturbance in the background that may become prevalent to anybody watching. So yeah, moving on from that, when I started stepping into the healing arts and, like I said, putting myself out there, then I had to come into it slowly and gradually, you know, charging by the hour for Reiki sessions or quantum touch sessions, you know, massage sessions, whatever I was doing. So it was a process. And it was only really when I started working with the Akashic Record in 2017 for the second time. This was my second training, and I started charging a lot more money. And that's when I got really hit by like the prevalence of the money blocks that I had, because I knew that I could no longer just be charging between 50 and 70 for a 60 to 90-minute healing session. I would be charging a lot more because the work entailed a lot more of my time, you know, no longer working 60 to 90 minutes with the client. Then I found I was giving 3 to 4 hours of my time. So I knew I had to charge accordingly. So the first step I will suggest for anybody who's new, people that have just trained in this particular body of work in the Akashic Record training, obviously you will all be aware when you start doing the actual sessions that it's going to take you, you know, between 2 and 4 hours to do a full session. That's including the healing session. Again, everybody will be working differently. So the first thing I would suggest is to get a figure in mind of what your hourly charge is, what you want to charge hourly. And I know I've said some of these, I've given some of these techniques in the actual training in the session 4, but get into your mind an idea of how much you want to charge hourly, whether that's 40, 50, 60 pound per hour. And then, you know, round that up to the number of hours it's going to take you in the beginning. Of course, when you first start doing this work, there's going to be perhaps a lack of confidence. So let's say, for example, that you're doing 4 hours work and you want to charge £50 an hour for your work because you feel that that is what you are worth. So ultimately, it's knowing your own worth. So that is why it's really important to get into your own mind what you are worth, what is your time worth to other people. And also, it's not just about what's your time worth to other people, it's what is this transformation worth to other people, because the work we're doing is transformational. And when people do start engaging in this body of work, our clients, they are going to see the value in it, because they're going to experience deep level transformation, much deeper than people who are having Reiki and massages. They're going to be releasing rapid stuff quickly. So it's having that in mind as well. But just to start with, getting your own mind what you want to charge, and then if that's 4 hours and it's £50, then, you know, that will give you a ball mark of charging £200 for an Akashic reading. If that doesn't feel comfortable with you in the beginning, then market it as a discount, as an introductory discount. So I did give these tips in the training, is working with your pendulum to understand your money alignment. So, you know, asking the question, working with your pendulum on muscle testing, however you want to work, whether that's body swaying or you're doing the finger breaks, or however, you know, this way, whatever way you want to work with, having an understanding of what you're in alignment with, because as I always say, we only allow in what we feel safe to allow in. So our money blocks are coming from they're coming from childhood experiences, and they're also coming from what we've inherited from the collective and what we've inherited from our parents. So people who are coming from a wealthy background, that likely may not have any money blocks, but most of us are coming from kind of, you know, humble backgrounds. And there may be, especially people around my age, you know, people in their 40s and early 50s, we are you know, children of the war. So we've experienced, like my parents experienced poverty, my grandparents experienced poverty, shortages, you know, famines and things. So, you know, there's a lot of the poverty consciousness maybe coming from this. But so, yeah, we only allow in what we feel safe to allow in. So asking yourself, what feels aligned for me right now in the fee that I wish to charge for my Akashic readings? Is it more than 100? Yes, no. Is it more than 200? Yes, no. And if it's a more than 100, which I really think it will be for most people, because people have, especially when you get that fee, that kind of 40, 50, 60 pound hourly fee in your mind, it will start opening the cognitive neural pathways to expansion. So, and then you might find that 200, no, that you don't feel aligned with charging this, because straight away your body might be, oh no, that's too much. So again, find where that is. Let's say it's 150, that you're aligned to charge 150. And let's say in the beginning that you're not quite happy with charging that, then again, you can just offer, you know, the sessions are 150, but I'm offering for the first 5 people, these sessions at £100. And that will basically help you to open the channels to bringing people in, because most people know when they search for Akashic record readings, most people are charging, the average is between 150 and 250. So don't sell yourself short. So that is the first thing, the first kind of tip that I will say. Again, I know I covered this on the training, but I want to go into a little bit more depth. So let me just check my notes. Second is having an idea when you're, in order to attract soul-aligned clients, you need to have an idea of the people that you want to work with and how you want to work with people. So you might have a particular speciality already. You might be working with mums, you might be working with women in their 40s, you might be working with pregnant women, you might be working with men, you might be, you know, however, we all can find our speciality. I always think it's a good idea to sit down and go into your own energy and ask what you have overcome. So if you're not sure what your speciality is, if you don't have one, then what have you overcome? What have you mastered? Because ultimately, what we are mastering ourselves, what we've overcome ourselves, our own challenges, are basically the kind of people that will then come to us. You know, people who are experiencing the same, because this is the way the law of resonance works. You know, it is the way that the universe at large works. So in order to attract soul-aligned clients, have an idea of, you know, what you are good at, what's your forte, what's your speciality, what have you overcome, what do you know a lot about that you can help other people, because it's always nice to have an idea of what you want to help people with, because that will then narrow down the window of opportunity, so you can then target your audience a little bit more clearly. So what is your specialty? What have you overcome? I mean, there might be multiple things. For me, there's multiple things that I've overcome. I've experienced multiple traumas. You know, I've overcome, you know, many things, but there'll be something that resonates with you more, and that can change. It will change and it will grow. And obviously, you know, we can be a little bit broad, but it's good to kind of have, you know, a more of an idea to narrow down your target audience, you know, because that's your avatar. What you have overcome, what your speciality is going to be your avatar. Secondly, thirdly, I recommend that you have an idea and an understanding of what your core values are. Because they will play a vital role in, you know, how you present yourself to the world. And so again, I know I've given these examples before for people who've done other webinars with me. My core values are freedom and sovereignty, independence, financial freedom, and I love money, right? And that doesn't mean to say that I love money from a greed point of view or an ego point of view. Money to me gives me the freedom and the independence that are at the top of my list with my core values, and money gives me that freedom and independence. I did not have a happy childhood because by nature, I am a sovereign. We're all sovereign beings, but for me, I was very much into my freedom and sovereignty as a child, and I did not have a happy childhood. So the day I left school and I could go and work and earn my own money, was the day I liberated myself from, the people that always tried to control, obviously, our parents, and suddenly I wasn't in the control or under the control of anybody. So money to me allows me the freedom to live and do and be and go where I want, when I want, without having to ask other people. So money is at the top of my list, and a lot of people, they deem money as negative, and it's not. It's an energy. Money is an energy, and I think this is the downfall of a lot of people, is because they don't appreciate that money is an energy. It's an energy exchange. So that leads me on to the next point. If you can start to view life as every money that you spend, rather than spending it with resentment, paying bills, for example, which again, I've been in this trap, so I get it. It's start to look at that, we're actually paying for a service, even though some of the services we're paying for are false, they're illusions. Some of these taxes that we're paying, they are illusions by the conglomerates. But anyway, we can't get stuck in that. Just look at it as though, what we're actually doing is we're paying to receive a service. It's an exchange. So paying for our mortgage or our rent, we're paying to have a beautiful roof over our heads, to be warm, paying for electricity, we're paying to have all of these beautiful services. And again, it's just changing the mindset a little bit, so that we can actually start to find the appreciation in the exchange, in the flow, right? And what I also have found over the years, and this is through, I've tested many things over the years myself. I find that when I'm giving, I'm constantly receiving. When I'm not giving, and that means when I'm buying anything, if I go to a clothes shop and I want to buy myself something, I go into a superstore, I want to buy myself something, every time I spend money, I receive money, because I've got myself into that flow of equal balance in giving and receiving. So if, for example, that we're saving and we're hoarding because we're scared that we're never going to have enough, like we're saving for a rainy day, this is another false belief from our parents and grandparents, we must save for a rainy day. Why? There's enough money out there. There's an abundance of money out there and energy out there, and just abundance of everything out there, that we don't need to save for a rainy day. I understand it's coming from poverty consciousness. It's coming from the famines and the shortages, of course. But if we continue with that mindset, then we're going to continue being that lack, and we're going to continue attracting lack, and we're never going to have enough. So if we can start to change the mindset, which I know it's easier said than done, it's a process. And it's a process I went through for a long time, but I've got to the point now where I'm flowing with it. And I changed my belief to, when I'm giving, I'm always receiving. When I'm giving, I'm always receiving. And it's exactly what happens. And an example of this was last week. I went into a shop to buy some things, treated myself to some new tops. And I just said to myself, and this was just a little test, and I'm not even going to look at the price tag. I'm just going to buy what I feel like, buy what I want, buy what I like, what I'm attracted to. And yeah, we'll see what happens. And I took the items to the counter, and I paid for the items, and it wasn't a lot. It was like £50 or something equivalent of. And the minute the transaction went through, I got a ping from PayPal that somebody had just paid a deposit for my Akashic training. And I just laughed like, thank you, universe. Thank you, flow, thank you for this equal balance of flow. So my point is, when we're saving and we're not giving, there's no money going out other than the necessaries, other than what we need to put out there to keep a roof over our head and keep the electricity flowing, then that is what is going to happen with us on the receiving end. The only thing that's going to come in is what we need, right? Rather than that abundance. So it's like working on changing the mindset there. The next thing on this same topic is putting aside, and again, all of this I'm talking from experience. I've been through all of it, and I'm not rich. I'm not making like 6,000, 10,000 pounds a month every month. This is my goal. This is what I want to get to, so that I can live this free life and I can have a nice retreat center where I can invite people to and do things that I want to do in the future with my academy. So I'm working to that, but I'm comfortable. I've got money in the bank. I'm not worrying about anything. I literally spend, and I charge what I want, and the people who are happy to pay come to me. So put aside your preconceived ideas of what people can afford. Because again, I did this myself, and I witnessed this a lot with my clients and with other people, with my friends who are healers. And, when I talk to people in the training about how much I'm charging, the first thing that many people say to me when I'm doing the one-on-ones is, yeah, people can't afford to pay that. Okay, so you're putting that belief out there already. So you're already blocking yourself. So yes, there are people who can't afford, but for every 2 people that can't afford, there are 10 people out there who can afford. So put aside your preconceived ideas about what people can't afford, and just charge what you are in alignment with, what you are happy with, because you will attract with that energy the people who are happy to pay for your services. Okay. So once you allow and change the preconceived ideas and the beliefs, and once you are in that kind of constant inflow and you are receiving these clients, because ultimately, if you're a Reiki healer now, or a massage therapist, or you're charging between 50 and 70 pound an hour, you need to do 2 or 3 sessions a day to make your money. So if you were charging 150 to 200 pound for an Akashic reading, you only need to do 1, 2 or 3 a week to make your money. So it's like, focus on that, the fact that it's going to bring you, once you've found your flow, it's going to bring you the freedom that you want to be able to do what you want with your family. And the people who come to you that can afford to pay, the people who can't, then you can offer discounts to those, the people who are on tight budgets. So you're paying it forward. So again, it's just swings and roundabouts. I get people who message me and they're like, Mia, I really, really need an Akashic reading, or I really want to do your training, but I'm in this country or that country, or I'm on a low income and I can't afford to, but I really feel that it's my calling. I will offer them discounts, because I know that there are people out there who can afford and who are happy to pay without question, just as I'm happy to go and pay somebody £250 for a healing session that I know is going to be really valuable to me. So ultimately it's just having this in your mind. If you are already putting that energy out there, like, well, I can't afford to pay this because XYZ, then these are the people that you're going to attract, the people who can't afford to pay because XYZ. So again, it's ultimately, we're investing in ourselves so that we can expand, we can advance and expand ourselves, so that we can then help other people to expand and advance. And sometimes that means a self-investment, and that might be a financial self-investment. It might be a time investment. Again, people haven't really got time. Well, we've all got time. Again, this is another belief. I understand people have got children and they're getting kids up for school, and I understand this. Yeah, but get up half an hour earlier and do that meditation half an hour earlier. Or, do the meditation before you set aside time before you go to bed. Be assertive with your family and, say to them, please just give me half an hour to do this meditation, and just leave me and allow me this, just grace me this 30 minutes space. I see a lot of time on my trainings with people who've got children, and the husbands are coming into the room while they're on the trainings, and the kids are coming into the room. And I understand obviously things are happening around the house and it's not always easy, but just ask them to respect your time and be a little bit more assertive with your time if you can. Because ultimately it is your time. And coming back to the financial investment, again, I know that sometimes there are things that we want to do and we know it's going to bring us transformation, but we just don't have the resources. But again, sometimes we can find, again, it's manifesting. Something I've always wanted to do is the Akashic training that I did in 2017, which kind of inspired me to create the body of work that I've been teaching for you guys. I didn't have the money. I didn't have $1,000 to pay for this training, but I knew ultimately that this just keeps coming into my email feed, and I knew it's like it was like somebody screaming at me, you need to do this, you need to do this, this is going to be next level for you, this is going to be the icing on the cake. And I didn't have the money at the time, and so I just manifested it. I said, okay, show me, give me, help me to manifest the money to do this training course, because I know that it's my path, I know it's my purpose. And what happened about, I'm not sure how long it was later, it might have been even 2 months, but then I got a email from PayPal who basically introduced this new payment credit system, where you could literally pay for something and pay it back in 3, or I can't even remember how it worked, and I thought, wow, this is amazing. I didn't have a credit card, and here I'm getting an email from PayPal, so I just did it, and I just bought this training course on this PayPal credit, and I made the money back in between 6 and 8 months. That $1,000 that I invested, I got my return on investment within 6 months, and that was in 2018. And when I think now how much money I have earned with Akashic readings and obviously writing my training program since, it's just abundant. So again, I say this to help to inspire anybody, and again, it's having that information that we can help our clients as well to, because this transformation is priceless, it's invaluable. So okay, so as coming back to what I was saying, there has to be an equal flow of giving and receiving, okay, and change the patterning of, like I said, any potential resentment that you might have at paying bills due to preconditioning, pre-programming. Change your mentality and your preconceived ideas that people can't afford this, because who are we to say that somebody can't afford something? Who are we to tell somebody, yeah, you're not going to be able to afford this? Because how do we know that they haven't been, just come into some money and or they've just been given some money, or, they can actually claim it back on their insurance, for example. So again, change the conditioning around, what spiritual work is. When anybody comes to me and says you shouldn't be charging for spiritual work because it's free, then my answer to them is always, well, water's also free, but you still pay your water bill. You still go into a shop and buy a bottle of water and pay for it. Coffee's free, but you still go into Starbucks and pay €5 for a coffee. Your energy's free, but you still charge your boss £10 an hour to go and work for him. So why is it any different? And when I say this to people, it does help to change their mentality, because it's something that they've never looked at before. They've just picked a belief up that, we shouldn't be charging for God's work. And again, a lot of it's just false religious programming, false God programming. The next thing I would suggest is, once you've kind of narrowed down your avatar, like the kind of people you want to work with. So I work with healers and teachers, and I'm helping healers and teachers to level up and advance and expand their own services through my Akashic training programs, right? So what can you help people with? And I also, prior to that, I was helping people to step into their sovereignty and independence and liberate themselves. you know, to liberate their mindset, because that's what I did. And I still get those people who are trapped in their own mindset. So the work I do with them is helping them to liberate themselves, to change their perceptions so they can be and do what they came here to be and do. But yeah, ultimately, you know, my target market, my avatar is healers, working with healers, helping them to expand. So what is your, you know, you might not be there yet, you might be there already, you might want to help healers as well. But you know, as I always say, we need to be the embodiment of the transformation that we want to sell. So if you're not that embodiment, then you're never going to be there with these people, because you're not there yourself. So this is why I recommend and suggest that you work with something that you've mastered and you've overcome yourself, because then you are that embodiment, and then you will attract your soul aligned clients, because this is your area of expertise. This is your transformation expertise, and ultimately that's what you're selling. You're selling your transformation expertise. So put together a package, create a package. So the beauty of the Akashic work is we're offering 2 sessions. You know, we're offering the reading, and then we're offering them the healing session. So when you're marketing, put that in your marketing. Let's say you charge 250 or 200. So basically, let's just round it up to 200, and we'll talk in euros, because I know everybody's in different, people are in different. I've got some clients in dollars, some clients are in euros, some clients are in pounds, etc. So let's just talk in euros. Let's say you charge 200 euros. Then what you can basically write in there is 111 euros for an Akashic reading and 111 euros for an Akashic healing. Combining the 2 together is 200 euros. So obviously, if they booked them separately, then it would cost them 222 euros. So again, we can do like clever little marketing, and we don't need to be, you know, it's not that we're doing anything wrong or, you know, misleading people, but these are just little tips and techniques that we do, you know, to help people you know, make their mind up of what it is they want. You know, I have had people who've come to me and they've said to me, you know, Mia, I can't afford, I charge 333 for a full past present life reading and healing session. And I've had people who've come to me and said, I can't afford to pay all in one go. Can I have the reading first and pay half now, and then next month have the healing and pay the other half? Absolutely, why not? You know, I want to help people, so yeah, why not? And then there's other times where I've said, look, I'm really happy to, you know, can you afford 200? Yeah, okay, well, just give me 200, send me 200. And, you know, and again, just helping people who can't afford to pay, because it's not it's not all about money. It's not about money, it's about helping people. But ultimately, we're charging for our time as well. And again, people are paying for the transformation. If you're charging £100 for this work, the likelihood is that people are not going to do their clearing. They're not going to be invested enough. But, you know, when we do charge a higher kind of ticket price, people are going to be more invested to do the work. Like the number of Reiki clients that would come to me, and they're going through such tragedies and such anxieties and such traumas and pains, they would come to me and pay me £50 and have an hour's healing. And then I would give them some tips to do, so that when they came back to me next time, they would do XYZ meditation or techniques. And then when they came back to see me again, it would really help them. And every time they would come back and I would ask, how did you get on with this technique? No, I didn't really have time to do anything. Because they're paying £50. £50 it's not a lot. Even it might seem a lot for somebody to pay for a healing when they're literally, you know, they earn £2,000 a month and 1,800 of that is going on bills and kids and shopping. But it's not a lot of money, and so they're not invested. But when you're charging 300, people are more likely to actually invest their time in putting the effort in to do the transformation, because they're paying the money for it. So it's also a double-edged sword, right? So So, you know, there are little ways that we can market things to help people, you know, to make the decision to book something so that they will be invested in themselves. There's never, like in the very beginning when I started teaching, when I started offering the Akashic readings and healing sessions, and I was only charging 100 because it took me a couple of months to get myself to the point where I was comfortable charging, you know, going from charging 50 to 70 for an energy healing to suddenly charging 150, double for an Akashic reading. So I went through that process. But the people I was attracting, they weren't doing the 21, 30-day integration. And I would message them after a week, how are you getting on with your clearing? Oh, I've not really had time to do it. Okay. So when I started charging 222, then I would message people, oh yeah, it's going really well. I'm having a lot of, you know, people were invested to do it. So yeah. Find what you're comfortable with. Find your niche, your target audience, who you want to work with and how you want to help people. Yes, it's going to be different people are going to come to you, but you're going to have a clearer idea of who you want to work with. And put yourself out there so people find you. So what my final tip is, use your social media as a CV, right? If you're putting yourself out there, the first thing people do is they look at your profile, whether that's on Instagram, LinkedIn, or Facebook, right? So use your Instagram, your Facebook, if you're on LinkedIn as well. I don't get many clients through LinkedIn, but that's because I'm not very active on LinkedIn. This is the next market that I want to overcome. I want to kind of get into and utilize LinkedIn as well. But at the moment, most of my clients are coming from Facebook and a few from Instagram, mainly from Facebook, because that's where I'm more invested. I feel more aligned to work through Facebook. Some of my clients, some of my friends and some of my clients, they get all their clients through Instagram because they're more invested in Instagram. So it's where your energy is where your clients are going to come. So use your Facebook profile, your personal profile as your CV. Look at my personal profile if you haven't already, to just give you a little bit of an idea of what I'm talking about. You know, have on your profile what it is that you do. So there's a little bio piece at the top where you can write in, you know, I offer Akashic record readings and healing sessions for women in their 40s who are struggling to manage their work-life balance, for example. Or whatever else, you know, I offer Akashic record healings and readings for men who are struggling to XYZ. You know, for example, if you're a man and you want to work with men, or even if you're a woman and you want to work with men, if you've helped men in the past, then there's no reason why you can't work directly with men as well. But again, that's just an example. But put on your bio what it is that you're doing so people know when they go to your page, they can see, this is what she does. This woman looks professional. Even if you're not, even if you don't feel professional, we can present ourselves, we can start putting that energy out there that we are professional. So it will start to change our own perception of ourselves, because ultimately that's what it is. It's changing our own perceptions, how we see ourselves, right? And start to use, I mean, if you prefer to keep your Facebook profile to rant and send your rants out there and whatever it is, create a new profile and use that and start to build that up. So just create a completely separate profile. I recommend to use profiles rather than business pages. I know many of you may have a business page. I have, but I don't get the organic reach through my business page that I used to. I've noticed over 12 years, my business page has changed a lot. And some of you might have noticed that as well. Business pages are great because you can create events and you can do sponsored ads, which I do this a lot. And I use these sponsored ads. They don't bring me a lot of business. They might bring me one client every time I promote my training programs. But you know, that one client, I'm charging £777 for my training courses. And so it's worth doing a 30, £50 ad, even if it just brings me one client. Prior to that, I was doing a lot of organic marketing. I wasn't paying for ads, and I would get 2 to 3 clients. So it's changed a lot over the years. Facebook have become a commerce, well, and Instagram. Obviously, Instagram's owned by Facebook, but they've become commerce platforms now, not social media platforms. So personal profile, you will have more reach. You have more open suggestions of where to work. You can also create events on your personal profile now. Previously, you could only create events on your business page, but now you can do personal ads and events on your personal page. And obviously there's more scope for you to share them. The business page now has changed. I'm not sure who's got a business page, but it's changed a lot. You can't, when people click that they're interested or going on your event, you can't message them anymore from your business page, which has become a real hindrance because, you know, for me, for example, I'll do a sponsored ad and I might get 70 people who've ticked that they're going and interested over that 5-day sponsored ad that I've done, and I can't message them from my personal page. And this is all since they did this new GDPR data protection laws that they've brought in, but I can message them from my personal page. So yeah, it's become a little bit of, you know, there's some trickery with the algorithms, and we need to really understand the algorithms to know how to get around them. So I've done training courses on sales and marketing. I've done training courses on algorithms. The algorithms are continuously changing. So I'll just talk about the algorithms. Come on to that in a minute. Just to finish with your business profile on Facebook, your personal profile, just take some time to write into the profile your work history. And I don't mean your work history, you know, if you're doing Akashic readings, or if you're a Reiki, if you're doing Reiki healings, or you're a shamanic practitioner, what you don't want to be, when I say work profile, you're not going to be writing in that you worked at ASDA from 2010 to 2015. None of that, just your work history in regards of what you're actually doing now, what you want to sell. So if you're selling Reiki sessions, write in that you're a Reiki practitioner as well, or a Reiki master teacher. If you're offering shamanic healing sessions, then obviously you're writing that you're a shamanic practitioner. If you're offering meditations or yoga, etc., etc. So just write that into your profile if you haven't done that already, with your little bio at the top. Again, hop onto my personal profile on Facebook and Instagram and have a look what I've done to give you an idea for those of you who are not already doing it. Because like I said, when you friend request people, that's what they do. You know, just think what you do, this is what other people do. So when anybody sends me a friend request, the first thing I do before I accept it, I hop onto their profile and check them out. If they haven't got a profile picture, I just delete them, because there's a lot of hacker bots out there. So that would be immediately deleted without even opening the profile. But other than that, I go on to their profile. If I see that we've got 50 friends in common, for example, that makes me feel a little bit more relaxed. Obviously, they're in alignment with me, and most of my community are all healers and teachers, etc. So, you know, that there's a whole bunch of alignment with the energy. And then I'll check out their profile, you know, what they're doing. If I see negative posts, rants, and, you know, just not very aligned things, then I'll just delete them. You know, if I see it's a guy and clearly is just looking for, you know, women, for example, I just delete them. But if I feel aligned with them, you know, in any way, then I will accept them. And always at the top of your page, when you're creating posts for yourself, have a pinned post that says what you do. Again, if you look through my profile, you'll see my pinned post where it's just got a picture of me and what I do. This is what I offer, this is what I do, because that is the first post that people are going to see when they're scrolling down your Facebook profile. They're going to see that post. And so again, people will, you know, if they're interested in what you do, they will message you. And I do get a lot of organic reach that way. And then you can do the same with Instagram. You can pin particular posts to your Instagram, to your featured section. So you can do a little bit of the same there. But yes, use your Facebook and Instagram as your CV. Okay. Facebook also, they do not like links, external links. So when you are advertising, don't write your website in the post. Just write it, as you'll see. Some of you might see my post that you'll see that I link in comments. And usually I wait until I've got a few likes on the post before I actually add the link in the comments. And that is because, you know, Facebook, the algorithms can get really clever. You know, they kind of know what we're doing. So if we post the link directly after the post, then they can block the reach because they know what we've done. However, get a few likes first. And then if anybody is interested, they'll message you anyway. Hey, Mia, I can't see the link in the comments. And then I will just chat with them anyway. But yeah, I usually wait until I've got a few likes. And usually when I do a post that is engaging, I will have like 5 or 6 likes within the first 5-10 minutes. And then I'll add the link. So always put your links, whether it's a link for YouTube, a link for your website, a link for your event, all the links in the comments, not in the post. The algorithms also love personal pictures, selfies, and pictures of cats, dogs, kids. Just be careful with posting pictures of your kids, because we know, obviously, the shadow side of social media. You know, scenery, you know, things like this. They're not such a fan of memes as such. You know, posting memes in your posts. On stories, yeah, save all your memes for your stories. But the algorithms love to see pictures of us, selfies, and that doesn't mean, you know, us taking a selfie, but anybody that's taking a picture of us, or we've got a nice picture in front of the beach, for example. They love things like this. So use your pictures as to boost the algorithms. Then in regards of posting your own social media, the best time to post is when most people are on Facebook. So the first thing that most people do, and again, use your Excel for an example, you might be in this habit as well. The first thing we do when we wake up, especially single people, is we reach for the phone. What time is it? And then we see, oh, I've got a message. They open Facebook, or they open their Instagram, or their WhatsApp, and they have a little scroll through Facebook while they're just coming around. And that's usually 7 o'clock in the morning on average. So for me, for example, I always send my posts out. Some of you will be aware of this, that I always send my posts out. Obviously, I'm 7 hours ahead of Europe and the UK at the moment, 6 and 7 hours. So I always send my posts out at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, my time, which is 7 o'clock in the morning, UK time. And again, I just send a nice short inspiration post that will get some traction, that will get some likes. And then again, if it's advertising, I'll stick my link after I've had a few likes, and then the post will continue to get traction. So if a Facebook post or an Instagram post gets likes straight away, Facebook push it up the feed so it keeps getting likes. If it doesn't get likes straight away, Facebook think nobody's interested in this, they push it down the feed and it doesn't get any traction. So that's basically how the algorithms work. And the other time is lunchtime. People are usually on Facebook during their lunch, whether, you know, some people, again, people are working 9 to 5. So the lunchtime will be, usually most people is between 12 and 2. So I usually post, if I'm going to post at lunchtime, around 12:30. And then, of course, in the evening time, after 7 p.m., usually between 7 and 8 p.m., people are on Facebook, or between 9 and 10 o'clock at night. Obviously, they've come home from work, they've put the kids to bed, they've got the dinner ready, etc. And they sit down at 7, 8 o'clock and they have a little scroll through Facebook before they watch Coronation Street or some, you know, Netflix or whatever it is. And then sometimes before they go to bed, they can have a little scroll again. So again, just bearing in mind these kind of things for when you're actually posting and marketing. But again, when you are posting and marketing and you want to sell your packages, just be clear of what you're actually doing, because although you may know what you're doing and what you're offering, and you may be trying to get somebody to call you or message you, but you've got to be really clear with what you're actually doing and what you want people to do. You know, so again, if you want people to message you, then tell them, reach out and send me a PM or a DM if this calls you. Or reach out, drop me a like in the comments if you want any information about this. Give me a heart or a thumbs up, or give me a like hand clap or whatever. Give me a dog sign, a cat sign, whatever it is that you want people to do if you want to have the link for this XYZ event, or you know what you're offering. So again, be really clear. You know, the first thing I learned in the very first corporate sales I learned over 20 years ago was KISS, the KISS technique. Keep it simple, stupid. This is what they used to teach us in corporate sales years ago, because we have to assume that everybody's simple and stupid, right? This is how they used to talk about it. But it stuck with me, this technique, even though I don't, you know, refer to people as stupid, but it did stick with it, you know, that stuck with me. Keep it simple. Be really clear, as though people don't understand, because we can write something that is clear and people will always message and say, like, I can create an event and I'll have the time on there, I'll have the dates on there, and people will still message me and say, what time is it? What date? When's the date? Can't see the date, can't see the time, how much is it? And I always put all of this information in my event. People, they're scrolling, they're quick speeding, they're speed reading, and they don't always see it. So, you know, we have to like literally put these bullet points in. So that is what people want. They want to know how much is it, when is it, how long it's going to, and they want to know what they're going to get from it. You know, what we're selling to people is results. We're selling transformation. So this is the best way to market and sell your business, is to sell them the transformation. What benefits are they going to get from the program or the package or what it is you're offering? Because that's what people buy. And also they buy you. They want to buy you. And I don't mean in the literal sense, but they're buying from somebody that they trust and somebody that they like. And people like and trust people who are the embodiment of the transformation that they're selling to their clients. So that's why I created the Akashic Ascension Academy, to take people through a process to be that living embodiment of the transformation they're selling. Because I witness still now a lot, and I see, I've got a lot of friends, most of my friends are healers and teachers, and I see a lot of them are not. Like, I see my friends are yoga teachers and Reiki healers, they're not doing healing on themselves, they're not practicing their own yoga, they're not meditating, you know, and then they expect to get clients. And how can you expect to get clients when you're not doing your own work, when you're not doing your own shadow work, you're not doing your own inner work, you're not investing in yourself? How can you expect other people to invest in you when you're not doing that for yourself? And the last thing I will say is, this is when imposter syndrome kicks in, right? If we're not walking our talk and walking the path that we actually dictate, that we're preaching, then the possibility is that we will develop imposter syndrome or comparison syndrome, where we do compare ourselves to other people, or we do feel like an imposter, we do feel like we're fake. And that can be a subtle program that's running in the very back of our mind, like, you know, there'll be this little subtle quiet voice right in the back of the head that negates what you actually want to do. But that is because you're not the embodiment of what you're actually selling and what you're offering. So if you're a meditation teacher and you're not meditating, then you really can't expect to get clients. If you're a yoga teacher and you're not practicing your own yoga, then same. So I think that most people will understand what I'm saying with this. So again, be the living embodiment of the transformation that you're selling to your clients, so that you will attract solar line clients. Because ultimately, if you're not putting the work in and the effort in and the time in for yourself, these are the people you're going to attract. People who can't put the effort in, they don't want to put the effort in. And therefore, if they don't want to put the effort in, the likelihood is they're either not going to complete the work, there's going to be frustration, they're not going to get the best out of the work. So then they'll point the finger at you, like, well, you told me this was going to be life-changing and it's not. Well, have you actually done the work? Well, yeah. Have you done it daily? Well, not really, I didn't have time. Okay, well, there's your answer. So yeah, you know, call people out as well, but you can only call people out if you're calling yourself out. So yeah, I think that is just about it. If anybody's got any questions, just post the questions in the comments below and then I can reply. If anybody wants any help with any marketing or how to integrate the work themselves, if you've not already had your free one-to-one after the training, then I charge 111 for a coaching session, and that can be for anything, wherever you want to work. Normally I charge a lot more than that, but I offer that for my trainees. And so we can always do a one-to-one, you know, any extra coaching that you want on business or any area that you need help with, that I can offer that service for you. So just reach out and we can arrange an appointment. But yeah, any other questions, pop them in the comments below. If I remember something that I might have forgotten to talk about on here, I'll post that as well. I think I've pretty much covered everything that I wanted to cover. But ultimately, I will finish by saying, you know, when we work on clearing our own programs and energy blocks, you know, our own distortions, and most of us are aware of what we're running, the programs we're running, the beliefs we're running, then, you know, clearing these programs, clearing these blocks, whether it's a money block, scarcity block, abundance block, you know, a block in receiving, a block in giving, whatever that block may be, a block to fully letting go. It's only when we work on clearing these blocks that we will liberate ourselves so that we can allow in more of what we want to allow in. Because coming back to what I said in the beginning, we only allow in what we feel safe to allow in. And again, a lot of that is coming from our childhood traumas or our childhood wounds and what we've actually witnessed and observed as children, you know, what we've absorbed as children. That's become a belief and a perception within our own mind, what we've had drilled into us in school, what we've had programmed into us by collective societies, and, you know, false conditioning and negative conditioning, and of course all the black magic that's out there via all of these billboards that we see in cities and on buses and on tube stations and things like this. You know, this is all black, a lot of black magic stuff out there, and a lot of it's just negative. So our programs become, you know, they're actually programmed into us via all of these various systems of mind control they've got out there. So work on, you know, what your own program is, what your own belief is, and going into the root of it. So again, going up and into your Akashic record and ask your higher self intelligence, show me the origin of this belief, so that I may clear it from my consciousness. And then when you've got the root of it, when you've shown, sometimes again, like I said in the training, we can receive these images or information immediately. Sometimes it might come, you know, after time when we're in the bath or we're driving or we're not thinking about it, that we'll just get boom, a light bulb will go on. But ultimately, when we can go back and clear it from the root, and again, we know what to do. We go up into our Akashic record again, and we just delete. You know, we write your little decree down. I now command this belief to be cleared and cleansed from all of my consciousnesses, my subconscious mind, my unconscious mind, my conscious mind, my higher conscious mind, all consciousnesses across all layers and levels of time and space, throughout all dimensional aspects of my being, throughout all of time. And I command that all the energetic distortion, any imprints, implants, cords, attachments, any symptomatic blocks, beliefs, programs that I have created as a result, also to be cleared, released and neutralized across all layers and levels of time and space, across all my consciousnesses, throughout all dimensional aspects of my being, throughout all timelines and lifetimes, past, present and future, for all of time. And so it is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And just keep repeating that over and over again. You can write your own decrees down. Decrees don't have to be complicated. You know, you've all got the various decrees. You can write your own short decrees, closing all contracts that you've made. You know, I've sent a plethora of information. There's an amazing contract, soul contract, revoking decree that I posted on the advanced training and support group a couple of weeks ago. So, you know, go into them and create your own decrees, make them your own with your own authenticity, your own energy, and that it's coming from you. So yeah, I will leave it there. Let me just make sure there's nothing else. Oh yeah, when you do delete anything, and if you do pull out any, you know, any cords or attachments or anything, just make sure you fill it. Just make sure you fill that void with. So when you delete and clear a belief, just download a new, more positive belief that will override and overwrite the belief that you've just cleared. So a relative to, you know, if it's a money block, for example, you know, just replace that with, you know, money flows to me freely and easily at all times. Money flows to me. I believe that money flows to me freely and easily at all times. And I lovingly open myself to receive financial flow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, just an example. And again, it may take some time to clear that belief because it might be a deeply ingrained program. But again, just make sure that you're clearing it on all levels, you know, ancestral level. You know, when we set that command that we're clearing it on all levels, then we're referring to, you know, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, cellular, ancestral level, soul level, you know, core level. So we're kind of affirming that. But if you want to write that into the decree, you know, you can write all the levels in across all the dimensions, across all time and space. So again, you know, we're including that in the in your actual clearing statement when you're releasing. And again, just see it leaving your body, and then just visualize yourself receiving whatever it is that you want to receive. We've done all of these meditations on the training. So keep working with the decrees that you've got, the decrees that I've sent you, the meditations. Just keep utilizing them. Go back to them when you need. I've got a bunch of really good meditations and things. And so, yeah, just keep using them and just make them your own. And just allow yourself, you know, grant yourself that time to put the energy in. So I hope this little video has helped you. As I said, drop me a little message to let me know how you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, if you found it useful or helpful. It's always nice to have, you know, some feedback from people as an exchange when I'm giving myself, you know, when I'm giving you these little tools and techniques. So yeah, just nice to see that they're working for people, that they're helping people, and because this is ultimately what it's all about, isn't it? That we're helping each other. So everybody, have a beautiful rest of your day, and yeah, thank you for listening, and yeah, wishing you lots of financial freedom and abundance and client abundance, and yeah, attracting your soul aligned clients. Again, I'm always here to help anytime, anybody. Again, you can all book extra coaching sessions if you need to, but any questions, just feel free to reach out. You know, I'm not about charging, so I'm always on hand to answer any questions and help anybody at any time. So yeah, thank you. Have a great day. Bye.